Overwhelmed marketing your law firm? Join the club. The Law Firm Marketing Podcast brings to you the tips, tools, and techniques from the experts that will grow your firm. If that isn't enough, ask the expert advice from the world's leading law firm marketing expert, Larry Bodine. Let's get started. Here's your host, Dan Toombs.
Hi and welcome to the New Look Law Firm Marketing Podcast, proudly brought to you by the law firm marketing company Grow Your Firm. For all your marketing needs, no matter where you are in the world, from web design, print design, QR codes to business cards, Grow Your Firm can help, and you can contact Grow Your Firm at www.growyourfirm.com.au. Well, there's a few changes in the house. Most notably, as you would have heard, this podcast is now produced in the US, and every episode will feature Larry Bodine, who is undoubtedly the world's most renowned law firm marketing expert. And of course, Larry also is the editor-in-chief of Lawyers.com. It's great to have Larry involved, and his wisdom will certainly not be lost on you and your firm if you're serious about positioning your firm amid this tectonic shift that is changing the way law firms are both generating and, of course, keeping clients. Well, lots of stuff going on in the world of law firm marketing. The most notable in the last 10 days at least has been another algorithm change by Google. If you subscribe to the Law Firm Marketing Podcast, then you would have received our alert on this, and in particular what your firm should be doing and maybe not doing to ensure this new Google flush out doesn't have a negative impact on your firm's website rankings. But essentially, the Penguin update, as it's been referred to, is all about Google continuing its cleanup of unscrupulous web practices like link farms and running duplicate content on your site and others. The real sting for law firms, as I see it, is for those that have outsourced their SEO or their search engine optimization, which most firms do, to external agencies that may still be spinning your content on multiple sites as a way of building links. It was somewhat of a standard practice for SEO firms to do this, and I'd hate to say it, but there's still plenty of them out there that are utilizing this type of tactic. Now, if your firm is doing this or your SEO crew are doing this type of link building, prepare yourself for the likelihood that you will disappear from Google rankings completely for a period of time. How long is anybody's guess. Now, Grow Your Firm is doing an ebook just on this issue, in particular, how to find out if you're vulnerable for a Google spanking and what to do about it. Now, this will be available to our subscriber list, so another reason to subscribe to this podcast at www.lawfirmmarketingpodcast.com. Now, there's plenty of other things happening. Yahoo, in their continuing fight for search market share, has just released a dashboard which lawyers can use to see what has been said about them online, check directory listings, measure website traffic, and manage email and pay-per-click campaigns, all in one place. Pricing is extremely good, and if you want to know more about that, then Larry Bodine's latest blog has more on it at blog.larrybodine.com. Now, just a quick shout out, if you're a lawyer in Philadelphia, Robert Algieri, who we've had on this show, great guy, is running a program for the Legal Marketing Association of Philadelphia on marketing your firm in the future. Definitely worth getting there if you can, and more info available at their site, and I'll leave a link to their site in the show notes. And if you're in New York City, as I am during the week of 14th of May, then the New York City Internet Week has a mass of exceptional conferences going on around the area during this whole week. It's cutting edge stuff. Simply Google Internet Week New York City and there's heaps of info on their site. The name Michael Geist is synonymous with social media in Canadian legal circles. In fact, he's been dubbed as one of the most prolific users of the medium, and the Canadian Law Blog Awards, in awarding him the Best Canadian Blog, opine that he is the most influential of Canadian law bloggers and the epitome of a thought leader. With that kind of rap, I just had to have a chat with Michael to ask him why he does it, how does he do it, where is the ROI, and of course, how his Facebook campaign changed the landscape of copyright law in Canada.
Michael, your name is synonymous with social media in Canada. How did that come to be?
In some ways, I must admit, a little bit by accident. It's not that I set out with some grand social media plan, but I think what happened was that, as is the case, I think with a lot of people, it started off a little slowly and kind of grew and grew and grew, and over time, you find yourself not just, I think, sucked in because it's something that I frankly enjoy spending some time following people on Twitter or engaging in Facebook and stuff like that, but because it's proven quite effective in terms of trying to get out the stuff that I'm writing and making people aware of different issues.
So you're incredibly prolific as well. I mean, your blog posts are frequent. Your tweets are frequent. When you started, was blogging the medium that you utilised most initially?
Well, probably was, although even that was, I must admit, a bit slow. So I've had what we would have called a homepage back then, 10, 12 years ago, even actually a bit more than that when I first started teaching. So it's probably closer to 15 years now. And it didn't really have a whole lot of opinion. It gradually, as blogging became more popular, I added a blog component. But I have to admit that in the early days, it was rather stiff. It really just sort of indicated here's a new column or here's a new article and things of that nature. And over time, I became, I guess, less and less satisfied with the more formal, almost press release style of posts, and began to use the blog as a more important medium to disseminate information that wasn't appearing in other places, and that allowed me to speak with a bit of a different voice. And from there, it kind of started to grow into some of the other social media platforms. In fact, the story is somewhat similar, let's say, on Twitter, and it's true, I tweet a fair amount.
You do.
And in fact, in much the same way, it started actually with a student saying, you really need to start doing more on Twitter, and at first I was, I don't know if I really have the time. And they indicated, it requires nothing more than you can just take your blog posts and have them sent through Twitter. So my initial tweets were nothing more than just now the blog posts, and similarly I became increasingly dissatisfied with the formality of those tweets and started using it for all sorts of other purposes.